Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the Loose Transistor channel. I'm your host Lucas, and we're back. Another vlog. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the Helio and a little bit more about Butterflight as well, but actually mostly about the Helio. Last week I showed you guys that I had gotten a Helio spring board to test out, and it came pre-buttered from the factory and all that good stuff, and I said that I was going to be building it, wasn't going to be showing the build, but here it is. Here is the buttered Helio spring quad that I built. So this is built on the Mia X frame, which I've come to trust because it's just absolutely bulletproof, and it's a good even test base for different components for me because I have quite a few of these going on. So starting with the motors, we have the Deadpool motors, as I said. These are 2306 2400s. We have the DYS Area 32-bit ESCs running the latest Helio 32. In there, in the bottom there, you probably can't see very well, but there is a Maytech PDB. And then there's also an RXSR receiver. Then we have right on top of that set up on double soft mounts, so basically just the rubber standoffs plus the little gummies that come with the Helio. And there it is, the Helio spring itself. Building it was very, very easy. I don't typically like using a PDB, but I actually found that the build turned out very, very clean with it. The board is running on full VBAT, and I really did like the weird little nipple motor mounts, like the ones that are all on the corners. They worked out pretty well. A lot of the wires are just like completely off from the top of the quad, which I do like. So that was very, very easy to set up, very easy to wire. Everything that you end up wiring is mostly here at the front where all your racks and everything else goes. So it was no problem at all. Even the pass-through for the video, everything there, no problem. I got it flashed, ran the IMUF update, got the OSD all set up, and then I went out and flew it. And I did post a video on the channel for the Maiden, which was literally bone stock. All I did was set up the RX and set up my rates and go and fly, and that was it. And I was incredibly impressed with how smooth it was. Only complaint that I had with it at first was that it just felt too loose. So I'll post a link to the DVR for both the maiden flight and the final flight. But in the first flight, you'll notice that the quad bobs around quite a bit. Some of it is my own hand, and some of it is just the fact that the quad is undertuned. So the quad was way too soft, but it felt great. There was no prop wash at all right off from the get-go with the Butterflight and the Helio spring defaults. It was awesome. So I took one flight with that. I sat it down, I started cranking P, and I cranked D gain just a little bit, went and flew it, and it was flying pretty good, but it started bringing out a little bit of prop wash, so I figured I had gone a little bit too far with the P, and especially when I did flips, it would kind of bounce a little bit. So I went back down a little bit with P and increased D a little bit, and that was it. The quad was tuned, like absolutely amazing. So check out the second video, the one where after post-tune. It's great. There is no mid-throttle oscillations. I know a lot of guys are saying to me that there's no HD and all that. I am working on getting HD, and they say that they can't see this or that. The way that I look at oscillations and jello on or anything like that on DVR is that you can tell that the image blurs. If it's not nice and sharp, nice and crisp, there's probably some vibrations going on. And I found with this quad there was nothing. It was easy to control. It could stop on a dime without any prop wash. It's just great. This is definitely my favorite quad to fly. I'm probably going to be converting some of my fleet over to the Helio and continue using the 32-bit ESCs. I actually just got a bunch more of the 32-bit area ESCs here that I'm going to be throwing on this quad right here to have some really old multi-shot only ESCs that are kind of beat up. So I'm going to put these 32-bit on these guys here. But honestly, all my 32-bit quads are awesome. I really love flying them. There's something about the D-Shot 1200 and the way that they are constructed that they just fly really well. I also suspect that they're a little bit less noisy than the 8-bit counterparts, and that's part of the reason why it's so easy to tune with them. But honestly, very impressed with the Helio, and I know that they're just getting started in terms of the updates that they want to do and the cool things that they can actually do with the IMUF. So they're really just getting started, so I'm really excited to see what sort of stuff that will come out. A couple of other interesting pieces of news. There are Butterflight motors coming out soon. We just partnered up with XFOOT to come up with this motor for the community. We polled the community and figured out what features you guys wanted, and we're gonna get them to produce it, and it'll be available in the US and the UK. You'll be able to buy our Butterflight motors, and yeah. I think it'll be pretty awesome. They look super cool. The concept is very interesting. They are a little bit more of a freestyle motor, but they are a little bit overbuilt. And from what I heard, the the way that the bells are machined, each one of the N52 magnets has an individual slot, not just like a cutout with a bottom that fits out with a ring or anything like that. No, like an actual slot. So it should be pretty difficult for you to throw magnets on this thing. It's going to be a very limited run. They're only doing one run for us. It's going to be 500 motors right now. So make sure you keep an eye out, because when they're available, they're probably going to sell pretty quick. And as I said, we're not taking a cut at that at all. We wanted to make sure that the price of the motor was as low as we could get it and still include all the nice features that the community had asked for. So to make sure that that would happen, we're not taking a cut of that at all, guys. The only money we are using right now to pay for development costs, server costs, any of that stuff comes directly from the t-shirts. So there's a Teespring store. I'll link that on the bottom of the video as well. If you guys are interested, there's t-shirts, mugs, all sorts of cool stuff, all with the Butterfly logo, so you can go out there and rep Butterflight some more. Another thing that I want to talk about is long range stuff. Yeah, I figured that my buddy Wreck-It from the FPV chat was selling off his Crossfire, the smaller one, the micro, not the full size TX and everything else. So he gave me a really good deal on it. I picked it up. It came with just one receiver, and I have the transmitter now, and I hooked it up to the Hype 7-inch. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of longish range with the Crossfire. I'm not a huge fan of like losing a quad all the way miles away from me and then having to go get it. So we'll see how far I actually take this thing, but I'm very, very interested to see how much better my link is going to be with something like this and being able to do some more interesting cruises around the parks that I fly at. Overall, it was fairly easy to install and get it all set up, but the Hype 7-inch does not have a lot of space on that stack. It is damn short. Like the top of the props are pretty much at the top of the top plate. So it's pretty damn slam build. So it was very difficult to get it in there, especially because I'm using a fairly old school FX799T VTX. It's 600 milliwatt. It's pretty old school because it's big, but honestly, man, these are pretty good VTXs. They're super solid. They don't die very easily. Good quality link of video. It's just that they're kind of big and bulky and a bit expensive. These days I tend to opt to fly with the VTX03 for racing and stuff like that because I don't need the huge amount of range, but whenever I'm doing freestyle or something behind obstacles, I like to have a little bit more milliwatt behind my flying. Well, guys, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk to you guys about and just catch up a little bit on what has been going on over here. Again, love the Helio. If you have your chance to get one or test one or whatever, do get one. They are great. The last FC that I felt this confident about was the CL Racing F4, which I ran in pretty much all my quads. So I'm really excited about what these guys are doing, and I'm very excited to see what they're going to do in the future with the IMUF. This distributed computing architecture to me seems to be like a step in the right direction towards getting quads to just fly nice, smoothly, and locked in. And I believe personally that it's going to be the way of the future versus just trying to filter it directly with CPU. Unless we start moving towards F7s or something like that. But then again, you're just basically trying to brute force it by adding more processing to try to get all those filters going. The distributed computing architecture that Helio has developed is incredibly clever, and it does work. Also, if you've listened to what they've been talking about in Ornery on the FPV show, he basically said that they're not looking to be the sole proprietors of the sole suppliers of this technology. They want to license it out to other OEMs, so other brands can come out with their own architectures, their own flight controllers using the IMUF. So it's extremely clever, and I don't feel like that limits the market in terms of what is possible out there for other manufacturers to do as well. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick little vlog and catch up, and I'll be back for some more freestyle videos with you guys with the 7-inch, some longer-ish range stuff, and I'll definitely be bringing you guys some more information on the Helio and of course Butterflight as we get some more features lined up and some new stuff to bring to you guys. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.